Hello everyone, my name is Jacqueline Pereira, and today I will be doing my MPA presentation on the Buena Vista Lagoon. Let's get to know the Buena Vista Lagoon with some brief context. First, we have some fun facts. As you can see here, Buena Vista Lagoon is the only freshwater lagoon in San Diego County. The lagoon became the first area added to the California Department of Fish and Game's Ecological Reserve System in 1968. Historically, most of the lagoon was either occupied by freshwater brackish wetland habitat or salt flat habitat. Westward expansion significantly impacted man-made developments surrounding the lagoon, especially the California Southern Railroad and John Fraser's discovery of mineral water underground. These events instigated the transformation of land near the lagoon into the popular railroad stop known as Fraser Station. The station was later renamed Carlsbad. As mentioned on the slides, urban development led to rising pollution and hunting rates until 1939, when the Buena Vista Lagoon was declared a natural sanctuary and hunting became banned there. While human activity spurred struggles for the lagoon's survival and normalcy, environmental reform came from these notions. A few years after the Interstate 5 was built, the Buena Vista Lagoon Foundation was established. In the 1940s, a weir was built to keep the lagoon from intermingling with the ocean. This weir was replaced with another one, so the lagoon still suffers from separation from the ocean. We'll get into that later on. The locations and habitats of the Buena Vista Lagoon greatly affect the lagoon's environment, biodiversity, and environmental hazards. Let's take a look at the geographics of the lagoon. As seen here, the Buena Vista Lagoon is located in between the cities of Oceanside and Carlsbad. The lagoon is also close to the I-5 and under the Carlsbad Boulevard Bridge. The lagoon is close to the Pacific Ocean and a local beach as well. The freshwater of the lagoon cannot mix with oceanic saltwater the way it's supposed to, due to the weir currently separating the ocean and the lagoon. The weir keeps the Buena Vista Lagoon from having exchanges of sediments and nutrients that it needs, and prevents the lagoon from experiencing necessary seasonal changes to stay healthy. This weir and rising urban development makes the lagoon more vulnerable to various environmental threats, including declining water quality and bacteria growth. Brackish and freshwater wetlands, beach, salt marsh, salt flat, stream and distributary, and open water and mudflat habitat types comprise the Buena Vista Lagoon. Brackish and freshwater wetlands traditionally mixed with one another, making them classified as separate habitats. However, the brackish and freshwater wetlands in the Buena Vista Lagoon are fused together and treated as one habitat here. This lagoon also has large areas of open ocean and gets its river from Buena Vista Creek. The stream came from the San Marcos Mountains east of Vista. It is important to note that the habitats in the Buena Vista Lagoon do not look exactly like the habitats contributing to the lagoon's overall landscape. The Buena Vista Lagoon is a mixing pot of these habitats that vary in distribution within the lagoon. The salinity, sediments, and temperature of the lagoon's water vary due to weather patterns, seasonal temperature changes, and global warming. Now we will dive into the biodiversity of the flora and fauna, or rather, plants and animals that live in the Buena Vista Lagoon. There are many animal species that inhabit the lagoon. Insects, migratory birds, and mammal species alike call the Buena Vista Lagoon home. Federally endangered and threatened species such as the California gnatcatcher and western field mouse live at the lagoon. According to iNaturalist, the most common varieties of plants living at the Buena Vista Lagoon are shrubs, flowering plants, and grasses. However, not all plant species at the lagoon are native. Plants such as small nettle, great brome, and poison hemlock are all invasive species from other parts of the world that have taken space in the lagoon and thrived against native species. Next, we look into what Buena Vista Lagoon contributes to the county, especially regarding socioeconomic and other benefits. One of the biggest contributions Buena Vista Lagoon brings to San Diego County and local communities is economic contributions. The local and natural beauty of the lagoon attracts tourists, hikers, natural photographers, and others interested in the wildlife. This boosts the local economy. The lagoon also helps with biological and ecological research. More researchers can conduct their work at the lagoon since it is a natural reserve and help us better understand how similar environments work. The Buena Vista Lagoon also contributes to the job market since recreational activities, tourism, and research increase demand for park rangers and other forms of supervision. Naturally, the Buena Vista Lagoon brings other benefits to San Diego County, including flood regulation, green space, and natural habitat to vulnerable species. The lagoon's natural water cycle helps prevent flooding and maintain healthy groundwater levels. Not all areas have access to green space, and fewer communities have a connection to nature due to rising urban development. Visitors of the Buena Vista Lagoon can experience the great outdoors in a unique landscape, breathe fresh air, stay cool near the coast, and have a stronger connection with nature. Buena Vista Lagoon is also a biodiversity hotspot and a sanctuary for species threatened by habitat fragmentation, competing with invasive species or climate change impacts. Regulations on human activity keep Buena Vista Lagoon safe for the flora and fauna, including visitors. Let's take a look at the key policies. For starters, the Buena Vista Lagoon is a bird sanctuary, so the use of firearms is prohibited on site or near the lagoon. In 1968, the California Fish and Game Commission designated the lagoon as the first ecological reserve. The Buena Vista Lagoon has been an ecological reserve since. Boating regulations, such as those mentioned in Chapter 13.48 of the Kern County Code, share general regulations for boating in the Buena Vista Aquatic Recreation Area. The code includes special speed zones, time of day restrictions, and minimum boat lengths, as well as other policies. Committees such as the Buena Vista Lagoon Joint Powers Committee also approve, advise, and review matters regarding the lagoon. Next, we will be discussing the major threats to the Buena Vista Lagoon. Human activity significantly affects the health of Buena Vista Lagoon. The wear resulted in high amounts of sedimentation and bacteria. It affected the lagoon's natural seasonal changes and its interactions with the tide. The wear also allowed invasive plant species to occupy land and consume resources designated for native species of the lagoon. Although the weir was replaced in the 1970s, its negative impacts still affect the lagoon today. Littering, dogs off their leashes, and tourists harassing wildlife all threaten Buena Vista Lagoon, especially its biodiversity. The I-5 is close to the Buena Vista Lagoon, increasing the lagoon's vulnerability to air pollution and carbon monoxide. More housing built near the beach portion of the lagoon can impact the water quality of the ocean nearby and the lagoon. Sewage and oil spills can happen as they did in the past. The spread of urban development has led to habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, and less genetic diversity in organisms living in the lagoon. Restoration programs and efforts are still in progress. Perhaps the greatest threat to the Buena Vista Lagoon is its declining water quality. The wear, other human activity, and habitat loss are all factors of the lagoon's water quality declining. The lagoon is experiencing more mosquito breeding, invasive plant growth, bacteria and algae growth, and sedimentation, partly because the lagoon is made of fresh water. All of these issues and flooding contribute to the lagoon's depleting water quality, putting the ecosystem in danger. Thank you so much for listening. More information about the lagoon can be found on the Buena Vista Lagoon Audubon Society website. Visit carlsbad.com and the City of Oceanside website. More species at the lagoon can be found in the Buena Vista Lagoon species list on the iNaturalist site.